Hi, it's Serene here with Goal Nutrition and Diabetes Specialty, and you are going to love what we're talking about today. We are going to talk about planning to have a healthy snack. Now, who doesn't love to snack? I know I like to snack, and I actually plan snacks into my day. I think there's this myth that we cannot eat in between meals if we are trying to lose weight, or maybe you're trying to manage blood sugars better or improve energy levels, anything like that. Having the proper nutrition and eating a little bit throughout the day is a really important part of a healthy diet. So that's good to know, right? The key is planning and preparing so that you have something available that you can eat. You're going to be more likely to eat the right thing if you have planned ahead and you've prepared it and portioned it out. We're going to talk about all of those things here in just a minute. Now, most people think this is the only thing they can have if they're going to have a healthy snack, right? They can have an apple, they can maybe have some carrots. Things like that tend to be the first go-to for people when they are planning their snacks. Now, don't get me wrong, I eat one of these almost every day because I love apples, but it doesn't mean that's the only thing you can have. And how many of you have had a good healthy snack like some carrots or something, and then an hour or two later you find that you're hungry again? And so you get frustrated and think, well, that didn't do any good to have that snack because now I'm still hungry. We're going to talk about that today too. So thinking about planning ahead, that is the first step to the whole successful snacking, and identifying when are those times of day that you are just a little bit hungry and not your mealtime hasn't quite gotten there yet. Or maybe you know you're leaving for a few hours and you're not going to get home in time to eat lunch, but you know you're going to be hungry in between while you're gone. So start by identifying times of the day, and they may be different from week to week or day to day. Identify when those are. It's really common for people to start getting hungry between lunch and dinner because there's usually a big gap there, more than 3-4 hours, and they start getting hungry, right? By the time you get home, either you're making dinner or you're waiting for dinner to be prepared, and that's when it is hard to control the snacking. You just start eating anything you can find. If there's a bag of chips on the counter or crackers or cookies or a treat, anything, it's just easy to mindlessly eat it because you're hungry and your body is saying, please give me food. So having identified that time of day when you know that you're going to be a little hungrier is really key to being prepared to have something ready to eat during that time of day. So be thinking of those kind of things as we're going through this, and think about when is it that you find yourself thinking that you could use a snack. Maybe it's even right before bed and you find that dinner was early, you're starving, and you still have this thought in your head, oh, I can't eat anything. I wasn't going to eat after dinner. So let's talk about how to make snacking work for you and fit into a healthy lifestyle. Now, all of these things are going to be very individualized for each person. And so if you need extra help by talking to a professional who can help you plan out how your meals and snacks would look so you're getting the proper calories, the proper nutrition for you and for any other health concern you might have, that would be another important step, is to understand this needs to be very individualized for the person. These are just basic concepts we're going to go over today, and you will need to learn how to apply those to your own personal life. So planning, we're going to identify when we might need to eat, and then we're going to make sure that we have things available in the house. So if you've got a variety of fruits and vegetables in your refrigerator, if you have some whole grain crackers in your cupboard, thinking of what type of nutrient dense food, meaning they contain a lot of nutrients, what kind of nutrient dense foods do you like and could you have available that you would be willing to eat for a snack? So make a list of those, write them down, take them next time you go to the grocery store. Make sure you have them available so that when it comes time to prep your snacks for the day or even for the week. I know people who prep their snacks for the whole week. So when you're doing food prep, that's a good time to plan and prep what you're going to have for your snack. So think of those things, have them available. then the next step is to prep them. So this apple here, I am not going to sit and bite into this apple because I don't love to just eat a whole apple. I have to slice it up. But if I have a sliced apple in a container in my purse or my bag or my lunch bag, or on the counter, I'm going to eat it. And anyone who stops by my house, my kids, the rest of my family, they're going to eat the apple that I've sliced up. Sometimes I slice up 2 or 3 and set them on the counter. Kind of a fun experiment. The apple will be gone. But if you set out an apple, it'll probably sit there all day. So slicing up, preparing ahead, getting things ready. Vegetables, if you can cut them up and keep them in a little container where they'll keep well, is a great way to store things. If you decide you're going to buy whole grain crackers, count out the serving size you want into a little container and have it ready so that you don't eat out of the whole container. That's another key. Portion out the sizes that you want. Now, about 150 to 200 calories is a good range for a snack, especially if you can include these nutrient-dense foods. We're going to talk about what some ideas are, but then you can come up with a list of your own favorites. But I like to recommend that people take a carbohydrate and a protein and they pair them together for their snack. So for instance, my apple that I love, I like to eat an apple with a little bit of peanut butter. So there's the carbohydrate is the apple, the peanut butter is the protein, but it keeps me full longer than if I just ate the apple. So I suggest you make a list of your favorite nutrient-dense carbohydrates. Nutrient-dense carbohydrates would be things like fruit with the peel on, berries. Berries are low calorie with fiber and all kinds of nutrients in them. They're a great choice. You also have the whole grains that contain fiber. So whole wheat bread, whole wheat tortilla shell, whole grain crackers. Look for the word whole on the package so you know you're getting a whole grain. It can't just say 100% wheat. It has to have the word whole so you know you're getting the whole grain. But look for those types of things in your carbohydrates. They're called a complex carbohydrate. So even starchy vegetables are a complex carbohydrate, like a sweet potato, things like that. They're great choices when it comes to having a carbohydrate for your snack. Portion it out to the proper size depending on what type of protein you're going to have with it so that you're getting that 150 to 200 calorie range. And once again, that needs to be tailored to you. Maybe you're going to come up with something different that you need between meals, but keeping in mind of that portion size so you don't just mindlessly eat a bunch of crackers or a bunch of peanut butter with the food you're eating. So there's some carbohydrate ideas. Then think of what type of lean protein could you have? You could have a slice of lunch meat. You could have a cheese stick or a string cheese. Those are easy, they're portable, they already are portioned for you, or you could just slice some cheese up. Cottage cheese is another great one. It's got good nutrition, low calorie, it's got protein in it, and you can add that to a little bit of fruit or some cucumbers. Makes a great snack. Other proteins, edamame is a protein. Hummus is a really great one to dip things like carrots in, crackers in, beans of any kind. So the red beans, black beans, those type of beans, they are also got protein in them and some fiber. They're going to keep you full for a long time and they're packed with nutrients. So be thinking of some type of protein that you could add to your snack list that you could pair with that carbohydrate that you can have ready ahead of time so that you can just grab it and eat it. It makes such a great thing to know that you've got something there to eat when you start getting hungry. I always pack a cooler if I'm leaving. I always pack some type of snack or food. It keeps me from wanting to stop and grab something as I'm out. Sometimes the choices are a little more limited. If you're just going to stop and grab a snack along the way, then I'm more tempted to grab the fast food or that milkshake or something when you get real hungry. But if I know I've got a good snack with me, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to feel good. And then when my next meal rolls around, I'm not starving. I feel good. I feel comfortable, but I'm ready to eat again. So, right, that's our body telling us we're hungry. We eat, we give ourselves permission to eat a healthy snack, and then we're ready for our next meal. Now, on the bedtime snack, a lot of people get hungry at nighttime. That's a really common thing I hear from people is they go to bed and they're hungry, or they wake up during the night hungry because they ate dinner and then they didn't eat anything before bed. Just keep in mind that as you're going to bed, you don't need a lot of carbohydrates because you're going to be sleeping. So carbohydrate is a preferred energy source for our body. They're good for us. We should have some throughout the day, but at nighttime, that may not be a time when you need a lot of carbohydrates. Maybe that's a better time to have a small amount of a protein snack. So maybe your snack's only going to be 100 calories or something like that, maybe 150 calories, but maybe you're going to have some cheese or a really small protein drink, not a full one, maybe just a small one. Maybe you're going to make a little one, a half a glass of milk. So thinking of things that you could have at night that are more leaning towards the lean protein, such as maybe cottage cheese is another one that you could have at night. Cottage cheese with some cucumbers in it. So that would be more the type of snack. But once again, having that correct portion so that you're not just mindlessly eating. I love people to enjoy eating, enjoy the things you love. It doesn't mean you can never have a cookie in between meals. It just means that most of the time, be prepared to have that healthy snack ready, portioned out, where you can grab it. I did an interesting thing years ago when I had when my family was here at home. I took vegetables and fruit and different things, and I portioned them out in baggies in the refrigerator. And even the baby carrots that come in a big bag, anybody could open the bag and just have some, right? I portioned them out in little baggies. I took olives and portioned them out. I cut up fruits and vegetables, and I just had them available in the little bags of portioned out crackers and different things like that. And throughout the week, I watched as everyone grabbed those little bags and took them as snacks. So it really does work. If they are ready and available, you are more likely to choose them, and so are those around you more likely to choose them. So if you're trying to help your family as well, it's just a great way to have things ready, portioned out, and people will eat them and enjoy them. But find the things you love, learn ways to prepare them so that you like them, and enjoy eating and allow yourself permission to have a snack during the day when you get hungry.